Welcome back to Technology and Programming for Mathematics. We are in our programming component here, and we're talking about the essentials of Python. And right here, this is a program we actually started in our last video. You can see what it does right here. It prompts the user to give their name. Okay, so the input command is the way you can take input from the user, and the prompt is right here, and we input the name, and then it executes this next thing. Okay, what's your favorite number? My favorite number today it's 5. Okay, double that number and you get 10. All right, so we got 2 prompts, and remember this right here takes the input from the user and converts it to an integer value so that we can do arithmetic with it. We saw what happened if I didn't have this here, right? If I just put input, what's your favorite number? Okay, my name is Tom. My favorite number is 5. Notice it just doubles the string. It writes the string twice. Okay, so that's why we had the integer thing right there. Okay, so there are some better ways to format the output here. Okay, so I think I can do that. Let's try it. Okay, so let me try this. Okay, notice the changes I made here. So what's my name? Tom. Okay, so notice what I've got right there. Inside these quotes, it's going to print things literally. And these braces right here, it's treating that as a space for any variable that I want. And then after the string closes with the quotes, dot format and then the variable name. Okay. And then what's your favorite number? 5. Double that and you get 10. All right. And you could put a period after that too. Okay, so this method of dealing with inputs allows us to put information after the input. It's a bit easier to do things. You don't have to keep opening and closing quotes. So it's actually much nicer. Okay, double that and you get 10. Now, let's say I wanted to do a little more than say double that and you get 10. Double that and you get blank. Multiply by 3 and you get, and now I'll put another space here, and right here I'll just put in a comma and do 3 times x. Okay, so let's see what happens here, and we'll run this program. I know. What's my name? Tom. What's my favorite number? 27. Okay, double that and you get 54. Multiply by 3 and you get 81. Okay, so you see how that format command works? You kind of got to put the variables as they will appear in your output statement in order. And you use the braces to leave like blanks that will get filled in by those variable names. Okay, so that's a little bit nicer way to format your output using that format command. Now, let me go and switch to the document camera a second here. So our essential commands here in Python, okay, so print. And remember, we're not talking about sending information to a printer. We're talking about displaying information on the screen. Okay, so you've got to use the print command whenever you want Python to put something on the screen. The input command, okay, you've got to put this here. You've got to put a variable name, and that's going to be the location where the info will be stored. Over here, you're allowed to put a prompt for telling the user what they should be giving the computer. Okay, so we got the print command, that's output, the input command, that's input. We also had a couple of others, int of anything, converts to an integer, float of anything, and that'll take that information and convert to a floating point data type. Okay. Floating point, of course, is a decimal. All right. So those are the basics that we've covered already. Now, another important bit of information, another important thing that we want computers to do is make decisions. We want computers sometimes to do different things based on the decisions that are made. Okay, so we're going to write a little program here that will take the user's input. The user will input a number. I'll make a little flow chart right here. So we're going to input X. And we're going to make a decision about X. Okay, we're going to check X. If the result of our decision is no, I want the computer to print the number is odd on the screen. If the decision is yes, or if the result of the decision is yes, I want the computer to print the number is even. Okay, so we're going to have the computer make a decision as to whether our number is even or odd. Okay, now how do we get the computer to do that, right? If we were trying to do this task, well, all you do is look at the last digit. If the last digit is even, then the number is even. Okay, but the computer can't do that. You can't just say, hey, look at that last digit. If you remember, we had an operation that would look at the remainder from a division, right? We talked about all the arithmetic operations in Python in our last video, and one of them was the remainder operation. So to decide whether a number is even, what we're going to do is we're going to take whatever number x we're given, and we're going to divide it by 2. Is that equal 0? If yes, then we're going to print the number as even. If no, we're going to print the number as odd. All right, so let's go back to Replit. There, we'll go back to our Replit. Okay, I still want to have this part. So input, what's your favorite number? Now instead of doing this, we're going to make a decision. Okay, so if, now we have to have a condition here. If x% 2 equals 0, all right? So if, notice that turned blue, okay? All the special kind of code words in Replit will turn blue like that. So we're going to input x, changes it to integer data type. Okay. Oh, wait, I need a colon here, I think, right? Okay, right. Now, this is very important here. The colon indicates this is the stuff you're going to execute if this is true. So if x is divisible by 2, Then we're going to print the number is even. And we'll go dot format X. Okay. So let me try just running this right now. Okay. I'll run my program here. So, Tom. What's my favorite number? 16. Okay, now it should print the number 16 is even. Great. Let's run it again and do an odd. Tom. What's my favorite number? 37. Okay, notice nothing happened and it actually just stopped. The program has stopped. And that's because I didn't tell the program what to do. I didn't tell it to do anything if the decision was no. Okay, this line right here will get executed exactly when this condition is true. Oh, I would also note here, note that double equal sign. That means we're testing whether the two sides are true. When you have a single equal sign like this in a computer program, that is an assignment operator. So in this line of code right here, the computer is going to prompt the user for input. They're going to type something in. Whatever they type in will be assigned to the memory location that we have designated name. Whatever information they put gets stored there in name. Think of it like a little box, and the computer will go and find that whenever we use that variable moniker. Okay, so if that, then we do that. We do have an else command. Else print, so quotes, the number blank is odd. And over here we'll do format X. Okay. So I want you to notice a few things right here. So we got the if command, and then we got the else command. Okay, let's run the program again. Okay, my name is Tom. What's my favorite number? 37. The number 37 is odd. Great. Let's try it with an even. Tom, what's your favorite number? 150. Okay, the number 150 is even. All right, so we've got the computer making a decision for us, and then if the decision is true, it uses this line of code, and then this is the alternative. If this condition up here is not met, then it executes this other line of code. Notice the tabbing in Python. The tabbing is important, okay? When you tab out, you're basically telling Python, all right, I'm done with that block of instructions. So we're going to go to the next thing. Okay, so don't mess with the tabbing. Okay, and you can let Python know that you're going to give a line of instructions by putting that colon there. And this is something that's always kind of nice. Comment your code. Okay, so program prompts the user for a number and determines whether it is even or odd. Okay, so notice I put that pound sign or hashtag as I've been calling it lately because of Twitter. Okay, notice that turned gray. That comment is there for when I go back to this program later on. Okay, don't assume that your memory is infallible. Okay, you could write a program and perfectly understand how it's working when you write it. But the question is, are you going to understand what you did when you go back and look at this 5 months later? Okay? So we can even comment on individual lines. Ask the user's name. Displays name and says hello. determines if x is even. Okay, that's the test. Okay, we could even say this is the test. Testing whether x is even. Okay, so these comments, very important. Notice I run the program here, nothing's going to change. Okay, the program runs exactly as it did before. The whole point of the commenting is to leave ourselves little notes so that we understand what we were doing in our program.